Without doubt, the thing that keeps most people stuck with their weight loss goals is overwhelm. You feel like you've got too many voices in your ears. You don't know what foods you're actually allowed to eat. You've probably downloaded some calorie counter from the internet and it's not really worked for you. Or you've tried to copy some fitness influencer's diet, even though their lifestyle is completely different to yours. It's no wonder why people feel like they're doing a lot of the right things, but the results aren't showing up for them on the scale. And in reality, they're stuck going nowhere with their weight. Well, good news, I'm gonna put all of that to bed for you today. This video won't be so much about the next mindset tool or the biggest perspective shift that you can do to stay consistent with your nutrition for longer. I do enough of that stuff already. But we're gonna take things right back to basics so you know there's 1, 2, 3 things that you can execute immediately and start seeing results this week. Let's go. Okay, so we all know by now that you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, but there's 3 major mistakes that people make when it comes to actually achieving that calorie deficit. The first one being that you don't get your numbers exactly right from the beginning. This means that you're never actually in a calorie deficit, you just think you are based on the numbers that you found. And if you tried using one of those online calculators, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said earlier, there's literally thousands of calorie counters out on the internet, but there's a big problem with most of them. Number one, they clearly don't define what sedentary or moderately active or highly active actually means. And newsflash, I'll tell you this a little bit further down the line in this video, but humans are horrible at estimating either the calories they're actually consuming or how much activity they're doing on a typical basis. Problem with this as well is that they don't measure, track, or keep accountable to their calories or their exercise on a weekly basis. They're just kind of guessing. Well, I feel like I'm moderately active, or I'm maybe less active than some of the people immediately around me, so I'll just go with moderately active. It just leads to a whole pile of confusion and feeling like you're doing the right thing, even though you were set up for failure from the beginning. This is exactly why we built our calorie calculator to be more specific for weight loss, give you very clearly defined outcomes for sedentary, moderately active, and highly active, and it's available for you to use for free. Click the link below this video, fill out some details, and I'll send you an incredibly in-depth, personalized audit of what you're currently doing with your nutrition and how to fix it so that you can see weight loss results immediately. Seriously, make sure you check that out in the link below. First problem is actually getting your calorie deficit correct. By the way, the only way to know if you are in a calorie deficit or not is if the scale is ticking down consistently week on week. If it's staying in the same place, you're probably at maintenance, and there's a whole number of reasons why that could be. I'll explain them in points 2 and 3. Point 2 is you don't track your food closely enough. Maybe you give yourself the weekend off, or maybe you don't track those couple of biscuits because you think, there's not that many calories in them, maybe I'll be okay. Now listen, I'm not calling anyone a liar here, but like I mentioned in the first point, we as humans grossly underestimate how many calories we actually think are in certain foods. So if you're relatively new to weight loss and tracking your calories, your eyeballing of portions is going to be completely off. I promise you, 200 grams of chicken breast is so much more than you think it is. A lot of us won't bother to track oils or butter or sauces that we apply and cook to foods. They can have a surprisingly large amount of calories even in small portions. Good news is, this is actually one of the easiest low-hanging fruits that you can instantly change to see weight loss results this week. Here's how. When you do find your calorie deficit numbers, use our free nutrition audit in the link below if you're really stuck on where to start from. But once you've got those numbers in place, I want you to take an extra 100 to 300 calories and try and come in below the deficit number most days of the week. It just gives you a little buffer to protect against any tracking miscalculations. You also don't want to become neurotic about how much milk you're putting in your coffee, for example. Not only does it help you with tracking and making sure that you don't miss anything, but actually it guarantees that you're in a little bit more of a calorie deficit without drastically compromising on hunger and sugar cravings and things like that. You'll actually see a little bit of weight loss progress quicker, and that'll give you a little bit more motivation to keep going in the short term. Now, the third problem is exactly what you would expect it to be from my channel. People don't stick with this calorie deficit long enough to see results. Let's be honest, you didn't gain all of this weight in 2 weeks, so it'd be really unreasonable to expect that you could lose it all in the space of 2 weeks as well. It honestly shocks me when people just expect to see weight loss results magically in the first 2 weeks. They expect the scale always to be ticking down, they expect to never feel hungry and never feel like they're lacking motivation. Let me be clear, best case scenario, this does happen often inside our program. With the right plan, the right team around you, the right levels of education and support, this can be possible. But for most people, it takes a long time working on their relationship with food, their belief in themselves, their self-image and esteem. These things will actually drive how motivated you are long term. It's important for us to start there and give people new diet rules, new perspectives, and new mindset tools to ultimately make dieting easier than it has been in the past. The difference between the multiple success stories you see all over our social media and website pages and where you're at currently with your results is just the ability to stick in with this longer. Sure, that's a lot easier when you have a community of like-minded people people around you, when you have a coach and a team that can support you and help keep you on track when you slip up. If you really want to see results, don't think in terms of 8 to 12 weeks with your weight loss. Why not double it? Why not think about the next 6 months, the next year of your life? Anyone can lose weight in 8 weeks before a summer holiday, but actually keeping the weight off and working on yourself to move to new levels with your weight loss, what's going to make results happen for you on a long-term basis. And the long-term results, that is what an actual transformation is. This is exactly why we hate quick fixes, crash diets, transformation challenges. They work in the short term, but ultimately they burn people and leave them back at square one, where they're hungrier, their relationship with food is warped, their self-image is warped, and they don't really have any solutions or answers. It's why we built the Premium Label coaching program. One time, one solution, 12 months of your life, and you never have to pay or worry about weight loss ever again. By the way, sneak preview for you guys, we will be available to launch spaces for that very, very soon. If you want in and you want to be first in the queue the next time we make spaces available for Premium Label coaching, click the link below in the show notes and join our waitlist. You've literally got nothing to lose. Even if you decide it's not for you at that time, you'll be the first to know. It's why we hold our clients accountable even over the weekends, even over holidays. It's why we help our clients reset and re-engage after the 8 to 12 weeks where they've seen a lot of success. We try and push their motivation further and further rather than letting it dwindle where they fall back to square one, they gain all the weight back, and they just think, well, that was a waste of time. So in short, calorie deficits work. It doesn't matter if it's 1,000 calories of pizza or 1,000 calories of salad. Yeah, you might feel a little bit better on one of those diets than the other, but provided you keep exercise levels the same, you will be losing weight. You just need to, 1, make sure that you're in a calorie deficit by tracking and being consistent with your weight check-ins. And number 2, make sure that you stay in it long enough to see results. And I know that can be hard. So if you need a place to start from, or you want help with either of those two, click that link below for your free nutrition audit, and I'll show you exactly where you're currently going wrong, exactly what you need to change this week to see results, and how you can keep those weight loss results longer than you ever have in the past. Go and do that right now. See you next week.